Welcome to the Back to Me podcast, where we help multicultural incoming freshman women and men manage their entire college experience throughout post-graduation to successfully transition into entrepreneurship and corporate workspaces as new hires.
Back to me. Oh, I turned it around. I'm back to me. I finally figured it out. I'm back to me. So when you think you have nothing, back to me. I go back to me. Yeah, I'm back to me.
Hello, everyone. It's your host, Yoli Tamu. For the last week of Women's History Month, we wanted to remind you of your value and encourage you to prioritize your well-being every day. In this week's episode, we invite back Koya Webb, international spiritual health wellness educator, yoga, and meditation teacher. Miss Webb shares how she was able to discover harmony outside of the familiar, create healthy boundaries with the word no, and find safety in the creative outlet of sports to help alleviate her stress. As the creator of the lifestyle design method, find out how she preserves her social well-being and uses morning rituals to start her day in order to live her life in alignment. Enjoy. I'm so excited to have back with us. I'm honored. She's back with us. This lady is so busy and she's moved on. We met initially through Agape and we lived in the same building, and now she's in Atlanta doing the doggone thing. Miss Koya Webb, how you doing?
Hello. It's so good to see you, Yoli.
Oh, thank you.
I always got to show love to my Agape fam and, the time in California living, in the marina was really beautiful. And I'm just so excited for you and how much you've grown and how much you're really pouring into the community. So just thank you for being you. I appreciate you.
Oh, and you're definitely a major example. So I appreciate you. Okay. Doing the doggone thing. Okay. So now you're back with us. And for those listeners that are not familiar, I'd love for you to just remind them of what you do and how do you serve young people right now?
Oh, I love that question. And I teach people how to love themselves, how to love others, how to love the world, how to be well. I do that through meditation, yoga, sound healing, transformational letter writing, most recently, neuroemotional coaching and life coaching, and just helping people in different areas of their lives. And I feel like it's really important for young people because when you're a young adult, you're at this pivotal part of your life where you are starting to have autonomy over your life and you're starting to make some decisions that will change the trajectory of your life. And I think it's really important to have examples and inspiration during this time of your life that really can help you build in a way that's in alignment with your soul. There are so many ways you can go. You look on social, some people doing this, some people doing that, and it can be so easy to get swayed. But what I like to teach young people is to practice meditation. If they don't like the word meditation, practice stillness, practice walking or spending time in nature so you can really get in tune with your soul and your divine calling. At Agape, we say we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And even when you're young, sometimes, right out of the womb, we have a spiritual calling on our lives and we can live in alignment with that or out of alignment. And what I like to teach the young folks is like, you're never too young to live in alignment with your purpose. And I think a lot of times when you're born into a family that really prioritizes that, people get it at a young age. But some of us, we've had parents that, they're like, do whatever you want and we'll see what happens,
Yeah.
My parents were like that, but they did instill good values in me, but it wasn't necessarily a purpose driven youth that I experienced. So when I got older and started to find my purpose and start to follow that purpose, that's when things got not easy, but they just felt better. And so that's why I like to kind of lead young people off that. It's just back to themselves, back to their purpose and their soul calling, no matter how old you are. If you can really find and align with your purpose, life just gets real juicy.
And you got a lot going on in your life, recently engaged.
Yeah.
You're doing some things. I've seen you on stages now. You're speaking a lot more.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great to see you blossom as well, to your next level. So now I'm sure, as I said, you're a major example to me. So I'm sure when you're talking to young people, you are that example. So I'm just wondering, is there something that's pressing for them now? Is there a topic that you find consistently that you're talking about with young people right now?
Absolutely. The topic is mental health. A lot of our young folks are stressed out and they're unfortunately in the digital age where you're on your phone, you have that blue light in your face all the time. Hopefully, you're still not holding it up to your ear. Hopefully, it's on speakerphone and at least a couple feet away from you. If you are holding up to your ear, I invite you to not do that. And make sure you have people on speakerphone. You can hear them just fine, or at least like, headphones or AirPods or something like that. So you're not getting that frequency close to your brain so often because it causes stress. And living in a life where so much is going on, we're in the middle of like this nasty, war on people, innocent people. And I feel like that's emotionally draining. We just got out of a pandemic. We're still looking at the effects of that. So I think it's really important for the youth to know that you are loved and your life is important. We're seeing a lot of stress. We're seeing a lot of suicide attempts. We're seeing a lot of just like mental unwell being. And to that, I think it's important to know how valuable your life is and how you have so many people, even if it's not your direct family, that want to love you and pour into you. I think growing up different myself, I always felt like I was searching for a guide or searching for a teacher, searching for a mentor because I thought differently from my family. So if you're a young person listening and you feel so different from your family or so different from your school or like you just don't fit in, just know that you're not alone. And a lot of leaders often start off feeling different and feeling misunderstood and feeling undervalued. And I would say to that person, just spend that time with yourself and seek out people who think similarly, who move similarly. I had to go all the way to the other side of the earth. You might not have to do that, but being born in Tennessee, and then it wasn't until I went to California and found Agape that I really started to feel aligned with the messages people were saying. There was some alignment growing up, especially growing up in the church and growing up, with love and Psalms and being good to people and taking care of people. But there's another part of it that was mostly fear based that I didn't align with and I really resonated like negatively with. And I just could not figure it out for the life of me until I started going to Agape. And I was like, oh, breath of fresh air. We don't have to ridicule people. We don't have to judge people. We don't have to be separate. We can live in love and harmony and peace and be non-judgmental and love unconditionally. And so that really resonated with me. And I think it's important because different people need different things. And if you are a truth seeker like I was, I was an indigo baby, I'm an indigo woman now, and I'm here to bring messages of peace and love and contentment to the planet. And when you have a calling on your life, and you might not even know you have this calling, but if the regular stuff irritates you because you know it's not right and people are saying it's right and you feel like it's wrong, chances are that you're supposed to be one of the people that kind of push against that. That's what we would call your dharma. And a lot of the time, our dharma or our purpose can cause us pain and irritation. It's like, oh, that's just irritating. I don't like when people say this thing or do this thing. And I just invite the youth to lean in and know that, okay, first of all, you can create a healthy boundary. Like if you're being asked to do something or be away that doesn't feel good for you, it's okay to create a healthy boundary and say, no, I don't want to do that in that way. I don't align in that way. And find a place where you feel safe and protected, whether that be a center for youth, whether that be an adult that you trust, whether that be a therapist that you trust, or a group online or a club. But it's important to be surrounded by people that you trust and people that you feel safe around, especially if you grow up in a place that you feel very unsafe. And for me, I felt unsafe growing up. And so finding places that I felt safe was really important. The first place that I found was sports. I was able to, kind of tune everything out and just focus on the track and focus on basketball. And that's a huge outlet for some people. Some people focus on art or singing, or, doesn't necessarily have to be yoga or meditation or prayer. Those things are good too. And I highly recommend those things, but also having some type of art or sport or creative outlet that you can do can also help you deal with when you don't feel understood, you feel misunderstood, and that can help you out with different levels of stress that you're feeling. So I would say that's like kind of the hottest topic and the thing that I'm talking to the youth the most about these days.
Yeah, well, this is powerful stuff. I mean, you're here with this podcast where, as you know, we're working with that transitioning freshman coming in for the first time and just the anxiety of a new environment, new people. And then I'm finding also that our graduates heading out are traumatized when they get to the workforce because they don't have conflict resolution skills, relationship skills, things like that. So to hear tips and things like this from you, especially from someone like you said, you had a beginning where it was a little rocky and you felt different from family members and you went outside and found your own people. So I love how you gave examples of Agape and just different organizations. So if you're a new student on campus, would you suggest that students pursue their professors or maybe pursue a student organization? How do you feel about that?
It just depends on the availability of the professor. Definitely, if a professor is available and they have time, I think that's a great resource. I think organizations are good. Like anybody willing to have time or make time, it could be once a month for 30 minutes. You ask of your professor. It could be like a group that you're a part of. So I say anywhere you can get support. Don't be afraid to ask. You might hear some no's. I remember I was so sad when I heard my first go like, "Can you support me?" Like, "No, I can't." Like, "Oh," and it might make you want to not ask again, but just know that what's for you is for you. And so the people that are not meant to help you and support you, they're going to say no, and you want them to say no because you don't want to get with someone that doesn't have the time for you and is really not interested in helping you, even though you thought in the beginning it was a good idea. And so I think that's really important. One of my friends says, rejection is God's protection. And so remember, when you feel like you're being rejected, you are just being protected from the things that are not in alignment with you. So I would say, reach out to groups, reach out to clubs, reach out to professors, reach out to therapists, reach out to people in your church or in your spiritual center or in different groups and say, "Hey, do you mind just talking with me?" I think it's important to have people outside of your home, outside of your family that you could talk to about maybe things that are going on that you don't feel comfortable with inside that can give you some insight. And so maybe ask them, "Oh, do you mind talking to me?" Even if it's not consistent, maybe it's just a one-time thing. "I need someone to talk to about some things I've been thinking, some things on my heart." And just see, a lot of times people will make time, or at least once, if you need like once a month support where you could just check in. A lot of times, people will make time if you're willing to ask and put yourself out there.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I bring up professors is because when you're brand new to a campus and an environment, I always say that's the go-to because that's the first adult really away from home that you're going to be dealing with. And I just found that when I went that route, it was very helpful. And then it made it easier to navigate and find out where the student orgs are and things like that. So that's why I just wanted your take on that. But you have a new project, Lifestyle Design Method, and I've seen you just, do so many things with your website and offering so many classes. Is this a class? Is this a movement? What is lifestyle method, design method?
Lifestyle design is definitely a movement, and it is based on what I've learned over the last 42 years of my life. And it's really built around the different areas of life, your spiritual well-being, your emotional well-being, and we get into financial well-being. And a lot of times we don't look at our financial health, our social health you know? So I did a little bit of my first book, Let Your Fears Make You Fierce. And I had people like take a survey and really rate themselves from 1 to 10 in different areas of life. But this is kind of deeper. This time I'm giving people rituals and routine they can do when it comes to their social health, like giving them examples like, maybe schedule like a bowling date once a month with your family or with your friend group. You actually have to proactively maybe schedule making dinner together. You actually have to nurture and create rituals around your social well-being, your finances. Like, I think in college is where you really want to start saving and not just blowing all the money you have, really starting to think about like investments and your credit score and things like that. That's really important to start thinking. In high school, I would recommend just knowing about it, but definitely you want to start saving when you start getting into college and putting some money away, especially if you're on scholarship and you're working like I did. I was on scholarship, but I worked as a personal trainer as I was going to school. And so it was really important that I saved that money because it really helped me out when I wanted to move to California after college. And so it's really focusing on your health and different areas of life. When it comes to spiritual well being, I give tips about meditation and yoga and transformational letter writing and things like that. Emotional health, we talk about the neural emotional well being and how you can learn when you're in survival state and when you see other people in survival state and what that looks like and how to hold space for it. And then also how you can get yourself to executive state. So where you could get to this place where you're like, okay, I feel safe, I feel secure, and I'm making these decisions not out of survival, not out of I'm scared, but out of I think this is what's best for me. So I think really when you're in that college, knowing the different mental states that you're in is really important. It's important for all of us, but I wish I knew in college about like mind states. A lot of people don't talk about them often. So I'm going to be sharing about that in the book. And I think it's really important for people to understand about nutrition and physical, which is something I've talked about in all my books. But when it comes to nutrition, I mean, I've been vegan for over 18 years, but I'm not pushing it on anyone, but I am inviting people to become more plant-based and eating plants and eating real foods, fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and superfoods, and talking about the benefits of those. Because a lot of times our food is taking us out, and a lot of times that's affecting our mental state because we either are not eating or not eating the right things, and it affects our gut and it affects energy level. Then, in college is where we start pounding the coffee and we think we're going to be okay. And then our adrenals go out and we don't know what happened. So I think it's really important. I'll be sharing in the book about like some physical things that you could do when it comes to movement, not just yoga, but also mobility and also strength training and also why that's important to set something up. And you don't have to have a gym membership. You can do everything that I suggest, like in the comfort of your home. And all the nutrition doesn't have to cost you a lot. It can be simple things that you can do on a college budget and really take care of your well-being. So I'll just be giving tips in a very holistic way. And that's why it's called lifestyle design, because it is helping people build out their whole entire lifestyle that's in alignment with who they are.
So that's going to be in a book coming soon.
Yeah, that book is coming, hopefully 2025.
That's fantastic. And I can tell you, you know how to eat.
Thank you.
I love how to eat. When I see you, like the last post I think I saw was Planta Atlanta. You sent me to Planta out here just because of what you ordered. I was like, okay, I have to taste.
Tell me what you got and if it was good.
Oh my God. I got the waffles, the oysters sitting on top of the waffle.
Yes.
That was so good. I said, this girl knows how to eat. So what you are saying is the truth. Because I was suspicious, like, what am I eating? But it was good. So
I'm so glad you had that experience.
Oh,
so good.
Yes. Great place. So now I always love to wrap up. This has been so cool. And I appreciate you and giving us your time. And I love final words of encouragement. And I'm thinking about that student that's just seeking to create their own maintenance routine. So I heard you say rituals. So that book's going to come in handy. But do you have like a couple morning rituals? This is Women's History Month. So for that powerful woman, young woman, morning rituals for that person.
Yeah, I would say first thing when you wake up, sometimes we wake up with an alarm clock. We literally wake up to anxiety. So if you can start to get your body on a rhythm where you're with the circadian rhythms of nature and you can wake up without an alarm clock, or maybe turn your alarm clock into music. If that can wake you up, that would be great. So first thing is wake up and just take 3 deep breaths, place your hand on your heart and just experience gratitude for your life. Inhale through your nose Exhale through your mouth. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. So me doing that just now brought me so much peace. It regulates your nervous system and it helps you wake up in a peaceful way. So I love that breathwork ritual of circle breathing in the morning just to like kind of kickstart a calm morning. Even if you do wake up to the alarm clock, that's okay. Do the breath and that will calm you back down. So I would say wake up with breath would be the first recommendation. And then don't jump right out of bed. Actually just sit there for a moment. Hopefully you don't fall back asleep. So sit up, not lay there, but sit up and just take a moment to visualize your day and how you want to feel in your day. Do you want to feel happy? Do you want to feel strong? Do you want to feel confident? And just think about how you want to own the day. Do you want to feel relaxed? Like something most days I get up and like, let me just chill into the day, right? So think about how you want to feel, meditate, breathe, and then just have a moment, like 5 or 10 minutes to just like really own your day and visualize what you want to have. And then I would say do a couple stretches, like while you're still in bed, just like twisting from each side, align your spine, do some shoulder shrugs and neck rolls, and then jump out of bed and seize the day. Carpe diem.
Chill into the day. I love that.
Yeah.
This has been great. Happy Women's History Month. You are
Happy
something.
Women's History Month to you. I mean, it feels so good to be a woman.
Yes, yes.
But I saw that post on Instagram. She said, I want to be a tree. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I do want to be a tree. Sometimes because being a woman, it can be hard.
Yes, we do work hard. Yes.
Yeah. I love being a woman. And sometimes I want to be a tree.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So now if they want to find you, where should we send them and maybe get some information on lifestyle design method?
Send them to koyawebb.com. I have some information in my blog. I have a lot of suggestions in my blog. I also have a YouTube channel. Just Google Koya Webb and you can check out my YouTube channel, Fitness, Food, and Fun, and see like what I eat in a day and like different people that I'm interviewing and just, do some breath work with me. I have a yoga on there. So a lot of stuff when it comes to wellness that you can find on my YouTube and on my website.
This is great. All right. Well, it's an honor, like I said, to know you and have you in my life. And I appreciate you being with us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you take time to consider your morning routine so that you can prepare yourself for the kind of day, month, and year that you want to have. For more information about other episodes, remember to subscribe to the Back to Me podcast, College and Beyond. I'm your host, Yoli Tamu. Leave a review at the end of this podcast, and if you would like to learn more about other special events, join the Back to Me podcast Facebook group, or simply text Back to Me to 833-206-4565. Until next time, be well.